The timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11.
Hey, Wahoo! Hey, Mike 51. Let's go.
They're going on 4th down. It's Roethlisberger. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And this defense will take over right at midfield.
Here we go.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. They'll run with Coleman on 1st down. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Well, remember, Tevin Coleman was in the 2-headed backfield in Atlanta during his 4 years there, along with Devontae Freeman. Now he joins a crowded backfield in San Francisco. But in Atlanta, he played under offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, and then, of course, Shanahan becomes a 49er head coach, and he made it a point to go out and snag his former running back because he really likes his 26-year-old ball carrier. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Garoppolo. That's Vince Williams who gets the sack.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz,
Here we go.
if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. He sets to fire deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4th, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the 1st down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Now we'll see what his offense can do. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Johnson with a burst, a 1st down or more. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Deontay Johnson, his first NFL reception, goes for 6. And the Steelers get the quick strike touchdown. Boswell good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Buying time to his left. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Cameron Hayward attacking off the edge that time.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
16 yards, a first down. They'll run on first down. It's Connor. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's got this complete to Ryan Switzer. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 28.
Hey, box drop.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Washington with a catch, middle of the field. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. This a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. Boswell's kick is good. Boswell signed to a 4-year deal prior to last season, but he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, do you think that they saw 13 of 20 when they signed him to a 4-year deal?
Not at all.
Needs a big bounce back in 2019 if he wants to see the end of that contract.
The Niners take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
We know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Javon Hargrave, the D tackle, getting the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit him with a screen soon.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over.
Set. 180. Take 2 of them.
Hey, watch it.
Check 3.
Check nickel.
He's coming. We got double up.
On first down, Connor.
Watch the ship.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Roethlisberger under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget.
Take both of them. 5.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
25. Check 25. Focus. Let's go.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. But now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Now Roethlisberger and McDonald here over the middle. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 20-yard line. Roethlisberger will throw. His throw caught at about the 5. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Deontay Johnson as the first half is winding down. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Extra point put through by Boswell. And